Hi, welcome everyone to our sixth free mindfulness class live on YouTube. So we are starting in a few moments. Let's just give some time for those of you who are still joining us. If you are watching on YouTube, you already know what to do. Please let me know if the sound and the image are okay. If you are watching here on Instagram, come to YouTube because the class is going to be there. And today we are going to have a very important class. Today I'm going to talk about breathing. I'm going to teach you how to breathe properly. So before we dive into more advanced breathing exercises, I'm going to teach you how to use all your lungs capacity, how to breathe the right way, so you can feel more energy, so you can become healthier, more fit, so you can feel more focus and concentration, be more productive, and also feel better. So it seems that the sound and the image are okay here on YouTube. If you are watching on Instagram, come to YouTube because the class is going to be there. So every Thursday we have these free mindfulness classes live on YouTube at 6 p.m. in London and Lisbon time and 1 p.m. in New York. And we talk about all things mindfulness, yoga, breath work. So all things mindfulness and yoga. These are free classes, but they have no replay though, because this is actually premium content that I could charge for. So you have to be committed and join me live on YouTube. So if you are on Instagram, you can just click the link in my bio to join me live and follow on YouTube. And while we wait for some more people to join us, I'm going to introduce myself as usual. To those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Wanda Mendonça. I was born in a small island of the Azores in Portugal. And since I was a little girl, I always dreamed of traveling the world. Maybe because I was born in a small island, I always wanted to explore the world, to live in a big city, even maybe to live abroad. So when I finished high school, I moved to Lisbon to study journalism. I studied journalism for 4 years, and when I finished my bachelor's degree, I went back to the Azores and I found a job as a journalist. So everything seemed to be going according to plans. I was working in my chosen career. I had a paycheck at the end of the month. I could even travel a couple of times a year, but I wasn't happy. So something was missing. As I said, I always wanted to travel the world, and I was feeling stuck. The job was also not what I was expecting. The salary was very low. The atmosphere was a bit toxic even, and I wasn't feeling happy. I remember sitting on my work desk and looking out of the window and thinking, there's a whole world out there. What am I doing here, stuck in this place? So I was feeling stuck in a place and in a job that didn't fit my soul. And it was around this time that I found yoga, and I started attending regular classes, and I started my own journey of self-discovery. So it didn't happen overnight, but slowly something started to change inside of me. And a couple of years later, I finally summoned the courage to quit my job, to move to Lisbon again, to start a yoga teacher training, and in a couple of years, I became a full-time yoga teacher. So I went from being a full-time journalist, to being a full-time yoga teacher. And some years later, in 2013, I decided to do another change in my life. This time I moved from Lisbon to Zurich in Switzerland with my boyfriend to finally follow my dream of exploring the world and living abroad. And after being in Switzerland for some time, after starting to travel more and explore the world, more and more, I founded my project, my travel and yoga website, The Yogi Wonder, where I combine my passions for writing, for traveling, and for self-discovery, yoga and mindfulness. And my mission on my website and on my platform is to empower other women to live their best, most authentic life through travel and mindfulness, as I did. So that's me. So usually that's when I turn off the live here on Instagram, but today I'm going to make an exception and I'm going to give the class both on YouTube and on Instagram. So you can follow on both on YouTube or Instagram. And today, as I said, we are going to talk about breathing. So if you have any questions during the class, first I'm going to clarify some concepts, and then we are going to dive right into some exercises. And if you have any questions, just type your questions in the chat and I'll answer to all of them at the end. So as I said, we are going to talk about breathing. We are going to talk about pranayama and how to breathe properly. But before we dive into the exercises in just a moment, I want to clarify some concepts with you and explain you the benefits of breathing correctly. So pranayama is one of the most powerful yoga techniques. Pranayama is a kind of technique from yoga. And pranayama is a Sanskrit word that means expansion of the bioenergy through breathing exercises. So prana is the bioenergy or life energy that is present in all living beings in all forms of life. So as you know, the breath is one of the most important sources of prana or life energy. Of course, if we don't breathe, we die. So the breath is one of the most important sources of prana or life energy. So by learning to control your breath with the help of pranayama exercises, of breathing exercises, you can increase your levels of energy, you can reduce stress and anxiety, and improve both your physical and mental health as well as your well-being. So there are lots of different pranayama exercises from yoga, but before exploring all of these exercises, we need to learn how to breathe properly. So we need to start from the basics and relearn how to breathe the right way. So follow me for a moment. Think when you observe a baby breathing. The last time you observed a baby breathing, you'll probably notice that the baby breathes from his belly. So babies and children usually know how to breathe properly, how to breathe correctly. But unfortunately, like with many other things in life, as we grow up and become adults, we adopt wrong breathing patterns. So we start forgetting about how to breathe properly and we start adopting wrong, faulty patterns of breathing. So let me know in the chat or in the comments if you are watching on Instagram, how do you breathe? Do you breathe from your belly or from your upper chest? So let me know in the chat or in the comments, how do you usually breathe? From your upper chest, moving your upper chest, or moving your belly? So this is important for what we are going to do next. So most of us, and you are probably no exception, don't know how to breathe. We breathe only superficially using just our upper chest. This is what we call shallow breathing. And when we breathe this way, we bring only a minimal amount of air and oxygen into our body, our blood system, and our brain and our mind. So let me see if some of you have answered. Let me know, how do you breathe? I'm curious to know about your experience. So let's move on. So this upper breathing this superficial breathing is also how we breathe when we feel stressed out or anxious. So you probably know this. When we are stressed out or anxious, our breath becomes shorter, quicker, and more superficial. So Derek is saying that he breathes from his chest, exactly how, like most of us do. So breathing superficially also has an impact on how we feel. Because even if we are not feeling stressed out or anxious in the moment, our shallow breathing is going to tell our brain that we are feeling stressed out and anxious. And our brain is going to produce chemicals associated with this negative emotions. So this becomes a vicious cycle. So you have a superficial breathing, your brain thinks that you are stressed out, it produces these chemical products into your body, you feel stressed out, your breath becomes even shorter, even quicker, and it becomes a vicious cycle. So shallow breathing is short, superficial, and engages only the upper chest, as I said. And the problem is that this brings a minimum amount of oxygen into your body, into your blood system, and into your brain and your mind. So this, of course, has negative consequences for your health and for how you feel. So you feel more stressed, you feel more anxiety, less energy because you have less oxygen in your body, in your mind. So you feel less energy, less concentration, and less productive. On the other hand, when you breathe properly, when you engage all the areas of your lungs, all your lungs capacity, when you do the deep breathing, what we call the deep breathing or the full yogic breath that we are going to learn today, your breath is long and deep, you use all your lungs capacity, you bring more oxygen into your body, into your brain, and of course, you become healthier and more fit. Your brain is going to work better. You are going to be more focused, more productive. You are going to feel more energetic, yet calm and relaxed. And most importantly, you will live longer. If you breathe properly, you will live longer. You will be healthier. You will feel better and live longer. So we need to learn how to breathe. And that's what I'm going to teach you now. So the full yogic breath engages all three areas of our lungs, not only the upper area as we usually do. So if you picture an image of your lungs, you'll see that they have a triangular format. Your lungs are like a triangle. So the upper part of a triangle and the upper part of your lungs is the smallest one. And the lower part of your lungs, the bottom of a triangle is the largest area. So if you bring the air only to the upper area, of course you are using only a minimal part of your lungs. So when you breathe only with your upper chest, you bring the air only into the upper area of your lungs, which is the smallest, as I said. So the full yogic breath exercise will teach you how to use all your lungs capacity. So once you get comfortable with the full yogic breath, you should adopt it as your default way of breathing instead of the upper breathing. So this exercise that we are going to do now, right away, is divided into 3 steps, one for each area of your lungs. So we are going to start by practicing the lower or abdominal breathing. And you can do this exercise lying down or sitting in a comfortable position with your back straight and aligned with your neck and head. So ideally, you should close your eyes, and to start practicing the abdominal breathing, bring your hands to your belly. Put your hands over your belly and close your eyes. And as you inhale, start expanding your belly. And as you exhale, contracting your belly. So it's very simple, just this. As you inhale, you expand your belly. And as you exhale, you contract your belly. So when the air comes in, your belly goes out, and when the air goes out, your belly comes in. You should also always breathe through the nose, softly and deeply. And it's important here that you try not to move your rib cage or your chest, only your belly. So try to move only your belly as you breathe. Again, when the air comes in, your belly goes out, and when the air goes out, your belly comes in. So this is the lower breathing, the abdominal breathing, which is bringing the air, which is engaging the largest area of your lungs. It's bringing the air to the largest area of your lungs. And because of this is the kind of breathing that you should try to use in your daily life until you are comfortable with the full breathing. So until you are comfortable with the full exercise that we are going to do today, you can start by practicing, by engaging the lower area of your lungs, doing all your daily activities. So replace your upper breathing with the lower breathing, which will bring much more oxygen into your body, into your mind, much more oxygen, much more energy into your body and mind. So now we are going to move to the second step of our exercise. So now you can move your hands from your belly to your rib cage. So place both hands on your rib cage. And now we are going to use the middle area of your lungs, which is slightly smaller than the lower area, but still larger than the upper area. So this time you should feel your rib cage expanding during inhalation and shrinking during exhalation. So every time you inhale, you should feel your ribs expanding to the sides, and when you exhale, coming together again. So use your hands to become more aware of these movements. So this middle breathing is a bit more challenging than the lower breathing. So it can take some time to focus on this area. It can take some time to really become aware of this area, to relax and become aware of this movement. So in here, try not to move your belly or your upper chest. So try to move only this area, only this middle area. So engaging only the middle area of your lungs. If it helps, you can bring also one hand to your chest and keep the other one in the area of the rib cage, so that you try not to move your chest, really only your rib cage. So inhaling, expanding your rib cage, exhaling, and coming back together. So do it for a couple more times. Inhaling, feeling your rib cage expanding, exhaling, shrinking with the exhalation. And then finally we move to the third step of our exercise. Now we are going to do the upper breathing. So now you can bring your hands to your upper chest, so really close to your neck, to practice the upper chest breathing. And now we are going to use only our upper lungs. So we lift our chest with inhalation and bring it down with exhalation. So when the air comes in, we lift our chest. When the air goes out, our chest goes down. So only this. This one, of course, is very easy. So while you do this, again, try not to move your belly nor your rib cage. Try to move only your upper chest. So without engaging the lower or the middle area of your lungs. Now engaging only your upper lungs. So this one is very easy because, as I said, this is our default way of breathing, unfortunately. So this one doesn't need much practice. The point here is to feel the differences between the lower, the middle, and the upper breathing. So can you feel that this one is much shorter and superficial than the lower and the middle breathing? Can you notice the difference? If yes, tell me in the comments. Hi, Esther is saying we can learn to breathe better with babies. They breathe correctly. Yes, that's true. Very true. So while you do the upper chest breathing, try to notice, just to feel the difference between the three stages, the 3 steps. So we don't need to stay here much longer, because this is not the kind of breathing that we should use in our daily life, as I said. But unfortunately, as I said as well, that's how most of us breathe most of the time before we learn how to do it properly. It's also how we breathe when we feel more anxious or stressed. But by perpetuating this pattern, we also perpetuate the stress response. So as I said, if we always breathe like this, it's going to tell our brain that we are feeling anxious or stressed out, and our brain is going to tell our body that that's how we feel. So it's a vicious cycle. And the thoracic breathing, this upper breathing, also reduces the oxygen in our blood, and can cause many healthy problems because we are not bringing enough oxygen into our body, into our blood system. So now finally we are going to put all of this together and practice the full yogic breath. So this can seem a bit complicated at first, but do it at your own rhythm, and you'll see that with practice it will become much easier. So to do the full yogic breath, we are going to put all the 3 steps together. So now you can bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your abdominal area, and one hand to your upper chest. And now, as you inhale, what you are going to do is that when you inhale, first you expand your belly, then you expand your rib cage, and finally you lift your upper chest. And as you exhale, you do the opposite. First, you let your upper chest go down, then you bring your rib cage together again, and finally you contract your belly. So I'm going to repeat. So with one hand on your abdominal area and the other hand on your chest, as you inhale, first you expand your belly, bringing the air first to the lower area of your lungs. Then you expand your rib cage, bringing the air to the middle area of your lungs. And finally, you lift your chest, bringing the air to the upper area of your lungs. And then as you exhale, first your chest goes down, then your rib cage come together, and finally you contract your belly. So first you release the air from the upper area of your lungs, then the middle area, and finally the lower area. So as I said, it can seem a bit challenging, a bit complicated at the beginning. Do it at your own rhythm. With practice, it becomes much easier. So do it a couple of times more. Continue to practice the full yogic breath. So inhale, bringing the air first into the lower area of your lungs, expanding your stomach, your belly, then into the middle area, expanding your rib cage, and finally into the upper area, lifting your chest. And then as you exhale, release the air first from the upper area, bringing your chest down, then from the middle area, shrinking your rib cage, and finally from the lower area, contracting your belly. So, congratulations, you are now using all your lungs' capacity. You are bringing more air, more oxygen, and more energy into your body. So as I said, don't worry if this feels a bit complicated at first. It will become easier with practice, and you'll start feeling its benefits in no time. So as I said as well, until you are comfortable with the full breathing, you can also do the abdominal breathing during your daily life and activities. But the goal is that the full yogic breath, the deep breathing, becomes your default way of breathing with time. So you can start with the abdominal one, and then with time try to do this deep breathing, the full yogic breath, the whole time. So this, after some time, this will become unconscious, and you'll start doing it even without noticing, even without having to do any effort. So this was the full yogic breath. Let me know in the chat, let me know in the comments how it was. Did you manage to do the full yogic breath? Was it easy? Was it hard? How was it? Let me know in the comments. Let me see if you have any questions here. Before we try a bit more advanced exercise, let me know how this one was. Okay, so now that I've taught you, so now that you know how to do the full yogic breath, we are going to do a bit more advanced exercise, so an advanced pranayama exercise. So ideally, to do this exercise, you should use the full breath, the deep breathing, or if you are not comfortable yet, the abdominal breath, the abdominal breathing. So now we are going to practice what we call the Chaturanga Pranayama, or the square breathing. And this exercise is very useful when you are feeling stressed out or anxious, or when you need to clear your mind and bring it back to the present moment. So Derek says that he's feeling much better, not strained, but relaxed. That's perfect, that's great, Derek. So keep practicing it during your daily life and your daily activities, and you'll feel even more benefits from engaging all your lungs capacity. So as I was saying, you can do this exercise, this square breathing, when you are feeling stressed out or anxious, or when you need to clear your mind, when you need to take a break, to anchor your mind and bring it back to the present moment. You can also do this exercise before meditation to help you concentrate. So as I said, use the full breathing or the abdominal breathing while you do this one. And this is actually very simple. So you are going to count 4 seconds for each phase of your breathing. So with your eyes closed, sitting in a comfortable position, with your back straight, your neck and your head aligned with your back, and your eyes closed, your body relaxed, the muscles of your face relaxed. Count 4 seconds during the inhalation. So simply counting 4 seconds while you inhale. Then hold the air inside your lungs for 4 seconds. Then exhale, counting 4 seconds. And finally, hold without air for 4 seconds. So this exercise has 4 steps, and which one has 4 seconds. If 4 seconds feels too difficult or uncomfortable for you, you can also count 3 seconds. The important thing is that you follow the 4 steps. So for example, 3 seconds to inhale, 3 seconds to hold with air, 3 seconds to exhale, and 3 seconds to hold without air. And if it helps you to concentrate, you can also visualize the 4 sides of a square to help you concentrate while doing the exercise. So while you inhale, visualize one side of the square. While you hold the air, visualize the second side of the square. While you exhale, visualize the third side of the square. And while you hold without air, visualize the fourth side, the last side of your square. So repeat a couple of times, always counting 4 seconds for each step of your breathing exercise. That's why it's called the square breathing. So I'll give you a few more moments to practice the square breathing, always counting 4 seconds for each step. 4 seconds to inhale, holding during 4 seconds. 4 seconds to exhale and holding without air for 4 seconds as well. And you can slowly start. When you complete the last cycle, the next cycle, you can finish your square breathing exercise. You can slowly open your eyes. You can let me know in the chat or in the comments here on Instagram. You can let me know how you are feeling. Ster says, very good exercises. Thank you, Ster. Hope you are feeling more relaxed now after these exercises. I hope that you understood how to breathe properly, how to engage the 3 areas of your lungs, how to use all your lungs' capacity to bring more oxygen, more energy into your body. And this way we finish our 6th free mindfulness class. I hope you are feeling, as I said, energetic yet relaxed and calm after these breathing exercises. So this class is going to stay, the replay is going to stay available for 24 hours, so you can rewatch it if you want, so you can do the exercises one more time, or as many times as you'd like. You can also share it with someone that you think can benefit from these exercises. So share it with your friends, with your family members, anyone that can benefit from this. And now let me know if you have questions in these last moments. I'll answer to all of them. Remembering that every Thursday we have these free mindfulness classes, short but sweet, where we practice mindfulness exercises, yoga exercises, so all things mindfulness and yoga, breathing exercises. So very practical classes, free classes. If you are on Instagram, you can click the link in my bio to get access and to join all classes. Derek says this will really help me at work where the indoor air quality is so. Thank you. You're very welcome, Derek. Yeah, unfortunately, the indoor air is not always the best, but you can also practice at home and ideally even outside. And then when you are at the office, hopefully you will feel better. So as I was saying, this finishes our, if you don't have any more questions, I'm going to finish now. Click the link in my bio if you are on Instagram to get access to my free Telegram channel where you get all the announcements, all the updates, and also exclusive free content. And if you are here on YouTube, make sure to give it a thumbs up so I know that you liked it. share it with a friend or a family member, subscribe to my channel so you can get all the updates, and I'll see you next Thursday, always at 6 p.m. London and Lisbon time and 1 p.m. in New York. And as I said, the replay is staying available for 24 hours for people on other time zones. So if you want to watch it again and practice the exercises one more time, feel free to do so. So thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.